The wind combs the high grass in silver waves, slow as prayer. Mateo walks behind his goat. The only sound the faint clink of her bell and the creak of his own knees. Dust lifts from his boots like small prayers of their own. The sun hangs low, bleeding copper across the plateau. He is 68, beard gone white at the temples, eyes the color of river clay after rain. Every evening he follows the same path home, but tonight the goat stops. She lowers her head, ears forward, staring at a mound half hidden by thistle. Mateo kneels. His fingers find stone, cold, deliberate, carved with a spiral that turns inward forever. He brushes away dirt. More stones appear, arranged in a perfect circle no wider than a wagon wheel. In the center, a flat slab, cracked but level, bearing the faint outline of a goat's head. His heart knocks once, hard, against his ribs. He looks around. Nothing but empty land and the first star. The goat nudges him, impatient. Mateo stands, wipes his hands on his coat, and follows her along the rim of a dry wash. There, half swallowed by earth, lies the corner of a wall. Adobe the color of dried blood, vines threading through like veins. He pulls at the vines. A doorway appears, low and narrow, exhaling cool air that smells of cedar and old smoke. Mateo lights his lantern. The flame trembles, throwing gold across glyphs he cannot read but feels in his bones. He steps inside. The goat follows, bell chiming soft against stone. The passage slopes downward, walls closing like a throat. Dust hangs in the air, undisturbed for centuries. He walks slow, counting breaths. The lantern reveals fragments. A shard of pottery painted with maize, a child's clay goat, a braid of human hair tied with red wool. Each object rests in its own small alcove, as if waiting for someone to remember. Mateo's fingers brush the braid. It crumbles to ash, yet the scent of sage lingers. The passage opens into a chamber no larger than his hut. In the center stands a stone table waist-high, its surface worn smooth by countless palms. On it lies a single object, a leather pouch, stiff with age, the flap sealed with wax imprinted by the same spiral. The goat circles the table, sniffs the pouch, then sits, eyes steady on Mateo. He lifts the pouch. It is heavier than it should be. The wax cracks beneath his thumb. Inside, a roll of bark paper, brittle as autumn leaves, and a small obsidian blade no longer than his finger. The paper smells of smoke and high desert rain. Mateo unrolls it carefully. The script is pictographs, goats, rivers, hands raised to sky, interwoven with lines that might be music. At the bottom, a single phrase in faded ink. The door remembers the voice that opened it. His lips move without sound. The goat bleats once, soft, and noses the obsidian blade. Mateo lifts it. The edge catches the lantern light, throws it back black and sharp. He turns the blade. On the untouched side, a map is etched, lines leading from the circle of stones to a place marked only with a hollow tree. Beneath the tree, a tiny goat, bell around its neck. He studies the map by lantern glow. The hollow tree is 3 days north, past the salt flats, into the mountains where snow never melts. Mateo's hands tremble, not from cold, but from the weight of being chosen. The goat rises, bell chiming, and starts back toward the passage. Mateo follows. They emerge into night. The stars are thick, a river of light above the dark land. He marks the doorway with a cairn of stones, whispers a promise to the wind. The goat waits by the path, patient as earth. He walks home beneath the moon. His hut is small, one room, a fire long dead. He lights it now, feeds it juniper and sage. By the flames he studies the bark paper again, tracing the hollow tree with a calloused finger. Sleep does not come. At dawn he packs bread, cheese, a waterskin, the obsidian blade wrapped in cloth. He writes a note for his neighbor. Asterisk gone to the mountains. Feed the goat if I am late. Asterisk. The goat stands by the gate, bell silent, eyes liquid with knowing. They leave before the sun clears the ridge. The path north is faint, overgrown with creosote and cholla. Heat shimmers off the stones. Mateo walks slow, the way old men do when the road is longer than memory. They reach the salt flats by noon. The ground cracks like old skin, white and blinding. The goats' hooves leave no print. Mateo's shadow stretches behind him, thin as faith. That night they camp beneath a lone mesquite. He builds a small fire, reads the bark paper by starlight. The phrase glows in his mind. The door remembers the voice. He tries to speak it aloud. His voice cracks like the flats. Morning. The mountains rise blue and sharp. The path climbs into pine, air thin and sweet. Mateo's breath comes shorter, but the goat trots ahead, bell chiming steady. They pass a spring, water clear as glass, bubbling from stone painted with the spiral. He kneels, drinks. The water tastes of minerals and something older, iron, perhaps, or blood of the earth. When he looks up, the goat is gone. He calls once, soft. The bell answers from higher up the slope. He follows. The trees thicken, needles muffling his steps. The path narrows to a ledge. Below, a valley hidden from the world, mist curling like smoke from 1,000 small fires. At the valley's heart stands the hollow tree, ancient cedar, trunk split by lightning, roots clutching stone. The goat waits beneath it, bell still. Mateo approaches. His lantern is unnecessary. The tree glows faintly, as if lit from within. He circles the trunk. Inside the hollow, a recess no wider than his shoulders. On its floor, another pouch, newer leather, sealed with red wool. His name is written on it in charcoal, Mateo. His fingers shake as he opens it. Inside, a single seed, black and shining, and a strip of bark with fresh writing. Asterisk, the seed remembers the song. Plant it where the river once ran. The door will open when the goat sings. Asterisk. The goat lowers her head, touches the seed with her nose. Mateo tucks the seed into his shirt, against his heart. The hollow tree hums, low and steady, the same note as the spiral stone. He steps back. The mist thickens, hiding the valley. The goat starts down a path that was not there moments ago, bell chiming soft into the white. The mist folds around them like wool pulled from an old loom. Mateo walks blind, one hand on the goat's warm flank, the other clutching the seed against his chest. The bell is the only sound, steady as a pulse. The path beneath his boots is soft now, pine needles thick as prayer rugs. They descend. The air grows warmer, heavy with the scent of water and green things. Somewhere ahead, a river murmurs, though the maps say no river runs here. Mateo's breath catches. The seed pulses once, warm as a coal. The mist thins. They stand on the bank of a dry riverbed, stones bleached white, cracked like old lips. Willows grow along the edges, leaves silver in the half-light. The goat steps onto the stones, bell chiming clear across the silence. Mateo kneels. The riverbed is wide, its curve perfect as a bowl. In the center, a single boulder, flat on top, bears the spiral carved deep. He places the seed in the spiral's heart. It sinks at once, swallowed by stone. Nothing happens. The goat circles the boulder, then lies down, head on her paws. Mateo waits. The sun climbs, heat shimmers. The willows whisper though no wind moves. He sits beside the goat. Hours pass or minutes, time is soft here. He thinks of the ruins, the pouch, the voice the door remembers. He closes his eyes, hums the only tune he knows, a lullaby his mother sang to the goats. The ground trembles. A crack appears in the boulder, thin as a hair. Water seeps through. Clear, cold, tasting of snow. It spreads, fills the spiral, overflows, runs in silver threads across the riverbed. The goat rises. She opens her mouth. Not a bleat, but a note low and pure, the same hum as the hollow tree. The water answers, rising, widening, becoming a stream, then a river. Willows bend, drink, leaves turning green before his eyes. Mateo stands in the shallows. The water is knee-deep, warm now, carrying petals of willow and pine. On the far bank, a wall of stone appears where none was before. Adobe the color of sunrise, A door set into it, carved with the spiral. The goat wades across, bell chiming through the water like a submerged church. Mateo follows. The river parts around his legs, gentle as hands. He reaches the door. It is warm, humming. He places his palm against the spiral. The stone remembers his touch. The door swings inward without sound. Beyond lies darkness, but not empty. Filled with the scent of turned earth and distant rain. The goat steps through. Mateo hesitates, looks back. The river flows strong now, the willows tall, the boulder half submerged, seed already sprouting. A green shoot unfurling. He crosses the threshold. The door closes behind him, soft as a sigh. The darkness is cool, the air thick with the smell of cedar and smoke. His lantern is gone, but he does not need it. The walls glow faintly, veins of light running through stone like roots. The passage slopes downward. Water drips somewhere, a slow rhythm. The goat's bell echoes, multiplied by the stone. Mateo walks, counting breaths. The seeds sprout now a warmth against his chest, though he no longer carries it. The passage opens into a vast chamber. The ceiling is lost in shadow, the floor smooth as polished bone. In the center stands a circle of stones, each carved with a different animal. Goat, eagle, snake, child. At the circle's heart, a depression in the floor, shaped like a seed. The goat circles the depression, then lies down across it. Mateo kneels. The stones are warm, pulsing faintly. He places his hands on the goat's back. Her heart beats steady beneath his palms. A voice, not sound, but feeling, fills the chamber. Asterisk, the river remembers. The seed remembers. Now the singer must remember. Asterisk. The walls brighten, revealing murals. People planting, dancing, a goat leading children to water. The murals move, slow as breath, telling the story of a people who sang the land alive. Mateo's throat tightens. He has no song but the lullaby. He begins, voice cracked but true. The goat joins, her bell becoming voice, becoming river, becoming wind through willows. The chamber answers, stone singing back in harmony. The depression fills with water, clear, glowing, rising to Mateo's wrists. In its surface, images, the ruins above, the hollow tree, the river reborn. Then deeper, villages swallowed by sand, songs forgotten, children learning silence. The water rises to his chest, warm as blood. He does not fear. The goat's eyes are steady, liquid with trust. The song grows, carries him, carries the chamber, carries the land. The water lifts him, gentle, until he floats in light. When it lowers him, the chamber is changed. The circle of stones is gone. In its place, a single sapling, leaves silver as willow, roots threading the floor. The goat stands beside it, bell silent. Mateo's hands are empty, but his chest is full. He touches the sapling. It hums the same note as the river, the door, the seed. A leaf falls into his palm, warm, alive. He tucks it behind his ear. The goat starts toward a new passage, glowing faintly with dawn. The passage breathes. Mateo feels the air move past his face. Cool, scented with water and cedar smoke. The goat's bell is a single silver note in the dark, guiding him forward. The leaf behind his ear glows faintly, a small green star. Stone walls press close, smooth as river stone, warm beneath his palm. The floor slopes gently upward, then levels. Water drips somewhere ahead, a slow heartbeat. The sapling's hum lingers in his chest, steady as a second pulse. Mateo whispers to the dark, not words, just breath shaped like wonder. A faint glow appears, soft gold, like sunlight through honey. He rounds a bend and the passage opens into a grotto no larger than his village chapel. The ceiling is low, roots of ancient cedars threading through like veins. In the center stands a pool, still as glass, reflecting the gold light. The goat steps to the water's edge and stops. Mateo kneels beside her. The pool is fed by a thin stream trickling from the rock. Each drop rings like a tiny bell. On the pool's surface floats a single petal, silver as willow, turning slowly. He reaches. The petal is soft, warm, alive. When he lifts it, the water ripples and the gold light flares. Images rise in the pool, clear as memory, though none are his. A circle of people, faces painted with ochre, hands linked around a fire. A woman places a seed, black and shining, into a hollow in the stone. She sings. The sound is the same hum Mateo carried from the riverbed. The land answers. Grass thickens, river swells, goats multiply. The vision shifts. The same woman, older, stands before men in black robes. They take the seed, wrap it in cloth, carry it away. Her song breaks into a cry that echoes through centuries. Mateo's eyes burn. The petal in his hand crumbles to dust, drifting onto the water. The images fade, but the pool remains luminous. He understands. The seed was planted, but the song was broken. The secret is not the seed. It is the voice that was silenced. The goat lowers her head and drinks. When she lifts it, water beads on her muzzle like tiny stars. She turns, bell chiming once, and walks to the far wall. A narrow fissure, barely visible, glows faintly behind her. Mateo follows. The fissure is tight. He removes his coat, pushes it ahead. Stone scrapes his shoulders. The air grows warmer, fragrant with sage and smoke. He emerges into a second chamber, smaller, circular, the ceiling open to sky. Moonlight pours down, silver and sharp. In the center stands a low stone table, ancient, scarred by fire. On it rests a bowl of polished cedar, filled with ash. Beside the bowl, a single white feather, long as his forearm. The goat circles the table, then lies down, head on her paws. Mateo approaches. The ash is fine, warm. He dips 2 fingers. They come away black, smelling of pine and memory. A breeze moves through the chamber, though no wind should reach here. Words form in the ash, slow as growing roots. Sing what was taken. The letters glow faintly, then sink back into gray. Mateo's throat tightens. He has not sung since childhood, not since his wife died, not since the goats became his only choir. His voice is rough and used, but the chamber waits. He closes his eyes, thinks of the woman in the vision, of the river reborn, of the sapling's first leaf. He begins, not loud, a low note, cracked but true, shaped by years of wind and loss. The tune is the goat's bell, the river's murmur, the sapling's hum. He sings of earth, of return, of secrets carried in blood and bone. The ash stirs. The feather lifts, spins slowly in the moonlight. The walls shimmer. Faint outlines of the painted people appear, translucent, watching. The goat lifts her head and answers. A soft bleat that weaves into his voice like harmony. The song grows. Mateo feels it leave his chest, travel through stone, through roots, into the sleeping land. The moonlight brightens until the chamber is day. The ash rises in a gentle spiral, forming shapes, trees, goats, hands reaching. When the last note fades, silence falls, but it is not empty. It is full, like the moment after rain. The feather drifts down, lands in the empty bowl. The ash settles. The painted people fade, but their eyes linger in blessing. Mateo stands trembling. The goat rises, nuzzles his hand. He looks at the bowl. The feather is gone. In its place, a single seed, silver as willow, pulsing faintly like a heart. He lifts it. It is warm, heavier than it should be. The leaf behind his ear flares once, then cools. He knows, without words, what must be done. The goat leads him back through the fissure, through the grotto, into the first passage. The lantern is gone, but moonlight follows them now, spilling from cracks above. They emerge from the door into dawn. The river flows strong, the willows tall, the sapling now a tree knee-high, leaves shimmering. Mateo walks to the riverbank, finds soft earth between 2 willows. He digs with his hands, soil cool and rich. He places the seed, covers it gently, presses the leaf into the dirt above it. The leaf sinks, swallowed by earth. He sits back. The goat stands beside him, bell silent. Far off, a willow sways though there is no wind. The river's song changes key, lighter, like laughter. Mateo waits. Minutes stretch. Then a crack soft as a knuckle. A silver shoot pushes through the soil, unfurls 2 tiny leaves. It grows as he watches, stem thickening, leaves spreading, until a sapling stands waist-high, roots glowing faintly beneath the earth. The goat lowers her head, touches the sapling with her nose. Mateo feels the land breathe through him, steady and sure. The secret is not found, it is beginning to be remembered. The song is not finished, it is learning new words. He stands. The sapling shivers, drops a single silver petal into his palm. He tucks it behind his ear like a promise. The goat starts up the riverbank, bell chiming soft again. The river sings louder now, a bright ribbon through the valley. Mateo walks its edge, boots sinking into soft mud, the silver petal warm behind his ear. The goat trots ahead, bell chiming like a small, persistent heart. Willows lean over the water, leaves trailing like fingers blessing the current. They follow the river north, where the valley narrows into a canyon of red stone. The walls rise sheer, carved by wind into faces. Some human, some goat, all watching. The air grows cooler, scented with moss and distant snow. Mateo's shadow stretches long, thin as hope. At dusk they reach a bend where the river widens into a pool, black and still. On its far side, a cliff glows faintly, veins of light pulsing like slow lightning. The goat wades across without hesitation, water parting around her legs. Mateo follows, the river warm as breath, rising to his waist, then his chest. He emerges on a shelf of stone. Before him, a cave mouth, round as the spiral, framed by roots thick as his arms. The glow comes from within, silver, steady, the same light as the sapling's leaves. The goat enters. Her bell echoes, multiplied by stone. Mateo steps inside. The cave is vast, ceiling lost in shadow, floor smooth as polished bone. In the center stands a single stone, tall as a man, its surface covered in tiny holes like a flute. Water drips from the ceiling, each drop striking a hole, producing a note. Clear, pure, part of a song older than words. The goat circles the stone, then lies down, head on her paws. Mateo approaches. The notes weave together, forming the lullaby he sang, but richer, layered with voices not his own. He places his palm on the stone. It is warm, humming. Images flood his mind, not visions but feelings. A people dancing around the stone, planting seeds in rhythm with the drops. A child blowing across the holes, calling rain. A woman wrapping the stone in cloth, hiding it as strangers came with crosses and fire. The song slows. The stone cools beneath his hand. In its center, a crack appears, thin as a hair. From it falls a single drop of water, silver as the petal, landing in his palm. It does not spread. The beads perfect, alive. The goat rises. She nudges the drop with her nose. It rolls into her bell, is swallowed by the metal. The bell rings once. Clear, final. The sound of a door opening somewhere far away. The cave darkens, the glow fading to embers. Mateo stands in near darkness, the drop's warmth now in the bell, in the goat, in him. He understands. The secret is not a thing to hold. It is a note to carry, a drop to plant, a song to pass on. The stone is silent now, but the river outside sings louder. They leave the cave. Night has fallen, stars thick as salt above the canyon. The pool reflects the sky, a second heaven. The goat starts along a new path, one that climbs the canyon wall, narrow as faith. Mateo follows. The path is steep, stones loose underfoot. His knees ache, but the bell's new note steadies him, a rhythm like a hymn. Halfway up he pauses, looks back. The cave mouth is gone, sealed by shadow, the pool still as glass. At the canyon's rim, a plateau opens, grass silver with dew. In its center stands a circle of stones, new yet ancient, each carved with the spiral. The goat walks to the center, lies down. Mateo kneels beside her, touches the bell. It is warm, Heavier now, the drop inside pulsing like a heart. He lifts the bell from her neck. The leather is worn soft, the metal bright. He holds it to the moonlight. Inside, the drop spins slowly, catching starlight, throwing it back in tiny rainbows. The goat watches, eyes liquid with trust. Matteo digs a small hole in the circle's heart, soil cool and rich. He places the bell inside, covers it gently. The goat lowers her head, touches the earth with her nose. A shoot appears, silver, delicate, unfurling 2 tiny leaves. It grows as he watches, stem thickening, leaves spreading, until a sapling stands knee-high, roots glowing faintly. The goat curls around its base, bell-less now, but humming soft. Matteo sits back. The plateau is vast, the stars close enough to touch. Far off, a light appears. A lantern, perhaps, or a fire. Someone is coming. He does not move. The sapling shivers, drops a single silver leaf into his palm. He tucks it behind his ear, beside the petal that is no longer there. The goat's eyes close, her breathing slow and sure. The path ahead is unmarked, the secret walking with them now, in every step, in every note yet to be sung. The lantern light grows, bobbing slow across the plateau like a firefly lost in daylight. Matteo sits beside the sapling, hand resting on the goat's warm flank. The bell is gone, but the silver drop hums inside the earth, inside the tree, inside his chest. Wind moves through the grass, carrying the scent of rain, though no cloud darkens the stars. The light stops 10 paces away. A figure steps into the moonlight. A woman, older than Matteo, hair white as salt, eyes sharp as obsidian. She carries a staff carved with the spiral, its head glowing faintly like the sapling's leaves. A small goat follows her, bell-less, coat the color of river stone. The woman studies Matteo, then the sapling, then the goat curled at its base. She nods once, as if confirming a long-held thought. Her voice is low, steady as the river reborn. You planted the drop. The land remembers your name. Matteo's throat is dry. He finds his voice, cracked but true. I only followed her. He touches the goat's head. The woman smiles, small and sad. She always chooses the singer. She kneels, places her palm on the sapling. The leaves shimmer, brighter, and the ground beneath hums in answer. A single root breaks the surface, thin as thread, curling toward her staff. The staff drinks the light, glows silver, then dims. She stands. The secret is not one seed, Matteo. It is many, scattered when the songs were silenced. She opens her hand. In her palm lies another drop, silver and perfect, pulsing slow. This one waited in the high cave. The goat brought me. Matteo looks at his own goat. She is asleep now, breathing deep, the sapling's roots threading gently around her like a cradle. He understands. She will not rise again. Her part is done, the drop carried, the song begun. The woman offers the new drop. Matteo takes it. It is warm, heavier than the first, alive with the same note. Where? He asks. She points north, beyond the plateau, to mountains capped with snow that was not there yesterday. The place where the river begins. The stone that drinks the sky. She turns, starts back across the grass. Her goat follows, silent. Matteo calls after her, soft. Will I see you again? She pauses, does not turn. If the songs allow it. The lantern light fades, swallowed by distance. Matteo sits alone with the sleeping goat and the growing tree. The sapling is taller now, waist-high, leaves catching starlight like small mirrors. He digs a small hole beside it, places the new drop, covers it gently. The goat does not stir. Her breathing slows, stops. Matteo strokes her head, feels the warmth leave gentle as dawn. He does not weep. The land weeps for him. Dew thick on the grass, the sapling's leaves trembling though no wind moves. He stays until the stars pale. The sapling drops a single silver leaf into his palm. He tucks it behind his ear, beside the petal that became the first tree. The goat's body is cool now, but the earth around her is warm. roots already claiming her. Mateo stands. The path north is faint, marked only by the woman's footprints and the small goat's hooves. He shoulders his empty bag, checks the obsidian blade though he no longer needs it. The sapling waves farewell, leaves whispering the lullaby he sang. He walks. The plateau falls behind, the canyon, the river, the ruins. The mountains rise blue and sharp, snow glinting like salt. His knees ache, but the drop's note steadies him, a rhythm like a hymn. Days pass or weeks, time is soft here. He camps beneath pines, drinks from springs that taste of iron and memory. The silver leaf behind his ear becomes a sprout, rooted in his hair. He sings to it each night, voice stronger now, the lullaby growing new verses. He reaches the place where the river begins. A spring bursting from stone, water white with foam. Above it, a cliff face, black and smooth, a single hole in its center like an eye. The stone drinks the sky, reflects clouds, stars, sun. Mateo kneels, places his palm on the cliff. It is warm, humming. The hole is wide enough for a man. He enters. The darkness is cool, the air thick with the smell of snow and cedar. The walls glow faintly, veins of silver running through stone like roots. His footsteps echo, multiplied by the stone. The passage opens into a cavern, vast and silent. In the center stands a pool, black and still, reflecting the hole above like a second sky. On its surface floats a single drop, silver and perfect, waiting. Mateo approaches. The drop rises, meets his palm, merges with his skin. The pool ripples. Images rise. The woman planting the first drop, the goat leading her, the land healing in slow circles. Then deeper, more drops, more singers, more goats, a chain of memory stretching back to the first song. The pool stills. The cavern waits. Mateo understands. The secret is not his to keep. It is his to pass. He lifts his hand. The drop is gone, but the note is in his throat, in his blood, in the sprout in his hair. He turns. The passage is brighter now, dawn spilling through the hole. He steps out. The spring flows stronger. The cliff reflects a sky bluer than before. The path continues north into snow. Mateo walks. The sprout behind his ear unfurls a tiny leaf, silver as moonlight. Behind him, the spring sings louder. The land remembers another name. Ahead, the mountains keep their secrets, but the drop walks with him now, in every breath, in every step, in the song yet to be sung. The snow begins as a whisper, flakes soft as moth wings. Mateo walks into it, boots crunching a path no one has taken since the world was young. The mountains rise white and silent, peaks hidden in cloud. The silver sprout behind his ear glows faintly, a small lantern against the cold. He is older now, beard iced at the edges, but his step is steady. The drop's note hums in his chest, warm as a coal. He sings under his breath, the lullaby grown rich with new verses. River, seed, goat, woman, stone. The snow answers, falling thicker, covering his tracks. Days blur into white. He camps in hollows beneath pines, fire small but fierce. The sprout grows, leaves unfurling, roots threading his hair like gentle fingers. Each night he adds a line to the song, voice stronger, the mountains listening. He reaches a pass where the wind howls like 1,000 goats. On the far side, a valley opens, hidden, green even in winter. A lake lies at its heart, black and still, reflecting sky and snow. On its shore stands a single tree, ancient cedar, trunk split, roots clutching stone. Mateo approaches. The tree hums, the same note as the drop, the bell, the river. In its hollow, a recess no wider than his hand. Inside, a pouch, soft doeskin, sealed with silver thread. His name is carved into the leather, Mateo. He opens it. Inside, a single seed, silver as moonlight, pulsing slow, and a strip of bark, fresh, words burned into it. Asterisk, the lake remembers the first tear. Plant the seed where the water weeps. The song will open the sky. Asterisk, the tree shivers, drops a needle into his palm. He circles the lake. On the far side, a spring trickles from stone, water clear, falling drop by drop into the lake. Each drop rings like the goat's bell, like the stone flute, like his own heart. He kneels, places the seed in the spring's mouth. It sinks, swallowed by water. Nothing happens. The tree waits. The lake reflects clouds moving slow. Mateo sits, back against the cedar, the needle warm in his hand. He sings, not loud, the lullaby, now a river of sound: seed, drop, goat, woman, stone, sky. The spring answers, water rising, widening, becoming a stream. The lake ripples, waves gentle as breath. A crack appears in the lake's center. Water swirls, slow at first, then faster. A whirlpool forms, silver and deep. From its heart rises a shoot, silver, delicate, unfurling leaves that catch snow and sunlight both. It grows as he watches, stem thickening, branches spreading, until a sapling stands waist-high in the water. The tree behind him hums louder. The sapling drops a single silver petal onto the lake. It floats, spins, then sinks. The whirlpool stills. The lake is glass again, but the sapling remains, roots threading water, leaves glowing. Mateo stands. The spring flows stronger, the cedar taller, the valley warmer. Snow melts from the pines, runs in tiny rivers to the lake. The land is learning to remember itself. He touches the sapling. It hums the same note as everything before. A leaf falls into his palm, warm, alive. He tucks it behind his ear, beside the sprout that is now a branch. The path continues north into mountains higher still. He walks. The lake reflects a sky bluer than before. Behind him, the sapling grows another handspan, leaves catching wind. Ahead, a ridge, and beyond it, a light, faint, steady, like a star fallen to earth. Mateo follows. The branch in his hair unfurls a tiny bud, silver as hope. The song walks with him now, in every step, in every breath, in the snow that falls soft as forgiveness. The secret is not his to hold. It is his to carry, to plant, to sing into the waiting world. The snow begins as a whisper, flakes soft as moth wings. Mateo walks into it, boots crunching a path no one has taken since the world was young. The mountains rise white and silent, peaks hidden in cloud. The silver sprout behind his ear glows faintly, a small lantern against the cold. He is older now, beard iced at the edges, but his step is steady. The drop's note hums in his chest, warm as a coal. He sings under his breath, the lullaby grown rich with new verses. River, seed, goat, woman, stone. The snow answers, falling thicker, covering his tracks. Days blur into white. He camps in hollows beneath pines, fire small but fierce. The sprout grows, leaves unfurling, roots threading his hair like gentle fingers. Each night he adds a line to the song, voice stronger, the mountains listening. He reaches a pass where the wind howls like 1,000 goats. On the far side, a valley opens, hidden, green even in winter. A lake lies at its heart, black and still, reflecting sky and snow. On its shore stands a single tree, ancient cedar, trunk split, roots clutching stone. Mateo approaches. The tree hums the same note as the drop, the bell, the river. In its hollow, a recess no wider than his hand. Inside, a pouch, soft doeskin, sealed with silver thread. His name is carved into the leather, Mateo. He opens it. Inside, a single seed, silver as moonlight, pulsing slow, and a strip of bark, fresh, words burned into it. Asterisk, the lake remembers the first tear. Plant the seed where the water weeps. The song will open the sky. Asterisk. The tree shivers, drops a needle into his palm. He circles the lake. On the far side, a spring trickles from stone, water clear, falling drop by drop into the lake. Each drop rings like the goat's bell, like the stone flute, like his own heart. He kneels, places the seed in the spring's mouth. It sinks, swallowed by water. Nothing happens. The tree waits. The lake reflects clouds moving slow. Mateo sits, back against the cedar, the needle warm in his hand. He sings, not loud, the lullaby, now a river of sound, seed, drop, goat, woman, stone, sky. The spring answers, water rising, widening, becoming a stream. The lake ripples, waves gentle as breath. A crack appears in the lake's center. Water swirls, slow at first, then faster. A whirlpool forms, silver and deep. From its heart rises a shoot, silver, delicate, unfurling leaves that catch snow and sunlight both. It grows as he watches, stem thickening, branches spreading, until a sapling stands waist-high in the water. The tree behind him hums louder. The sapling drops a single silver petal onto the lake. It floats, spins, then sinks. The whirlpool stills. The lake is glass again, but the sapling remains, roots threading water, leaves glowing. Mateo stands. The spring flows stronger, the cedar taller, the valley warmer. Snow melts from the pines, runs in tiny rivers to the lake. The land is learning to remember itself. He touches the sapling. It hums the same note as everything before. A leaf falls into his palm, warm, alive. He tucks it behind his ear, beside the sprout that is now a branch. The path continues north into mountains higher still. He walks. The lake reflects a sky bluer than before. Behind him, the sapling grows another handspan, leaves catching wind. Ahead, a ridge, and beyond it, a light, faint, steady, like a star fallen to earth. Mateo follows. The branch in his hair unfurls a tiny bud, silver as hope. The song walks with him now, in every step, in every breath, in the snow that falls soft as forgiveness. The secret is not his to hold. It is his to carry, to plant, to sing into the waiting world. The ridge gives way to a shelf of stone, wind-scoured and wide as a church floor. Mateo steps onto it, breath clouding in the thin air. Snow swirls, then stills. Before him stands a circle of ancient cedars, trunks white with age, roots braided like old hands. In the circle's heart, a single stone rises, no taller than his knee, smooth as river glass. On it rests the first goat's bell, silver turned gold by time, the drop inside glowing steady. Around the stone, saplings grow, silver, green, gold, each planted by a singer before him. The woman stands among them, hair white as the peaks, staff planted in snow. She does not speak. She only nods, eyes bright with tears that do not fall. Mateo kneels. The bell rings once, soft, the sound of every river, every seed, every song. He places his palm on the stone. It is warm, humming with all the notes he has carried. The cedars answer, needles whispering the lullaby in 1,000 voices. Snow lifts from the ground, swirls upward, becomes light. Mateo feels his body lighten. His beard falls away like ash. The branch in his hair unfurls, becomes a crown of silver leaves. He rises, not walking but carried, until he stands among the saplings, roots threading his feet. The woman steps forward. She lifts the bell, places it around his neck. It is weightless now, the drop inside his heart. She sings the final verse, voice clear as spring water. The cedars join, the saplings, the mountains, the sky. The circle widens. More figures appear, singers, goats, children with painted faces. They link hands, a chain of memory stretching back to the first seed. Mateo is the center, the song, the secret no longer forgotten. Snow falls upward. The stone sinks into earth, becomes root, becomes tree. The bell dissolves into light, into wind, into the lullaby that will never end. Mateo's body is gone, but his voice remains, carried in every leaf, every drop, every step yet to be taken. Years later, a child will find the circle of cedars, now vast, roots deep as time. She will hear the bell though no bell hangs. She will plant a seed, sing the lullaby, follow her goat into the snow. The secret walks forever.